Today, we're diving into a really fascinating journey, specifically moving away from what you'd call Western wellness burnout and stepping into the restorative, time-tested practices of traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM. We're looking at one creator's personal realization that the exhausting health routines we're constantly sold might actually be doing more harm than good, and how adopting 12 specific Chinese wellness habits completely transformed her health. To really set the stage here, the creator shares a super vulnerable starting point. She basically spent her entire 20s strictly adhering to the Western Wellness Starter Pack. Growing up, she put Western health trends on a pedestal and kind of ignored the traditional practices right there in her own Chinese household. But after a decade of doing everything supposedly right and eventually coming off the pill, bam, she was hit with a whole host of gut, skin, mood, and hormone issues. She realized her relentless pursuit of wellness had actually left her body trapped in survival mode. So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the Wellness Starter Pack trap, the TCM paradigm shift, the power of warmth, intentional nourishment, rethinking rest and movement, and finally, mind, cycle, and harmony. Let's get into it. Part 1. The Wellness Starter Pack trap. It is crazy how doing everything right by modern standards can completely backfire. Imagine your morning. You start with an ice-cold smoothie. You eat a raw salad for lunch, and you push through fasted, high-intensity interval training. For high-functioning women, this routine literally forces your nervous system into a low-grade stress response. When your body feels like it's constantly running from a bear, it deprioritizes digestion, halts hormone regulation, and sacrifices deep rest just to survive the day. Part 2. The TCM paradigm shift. The core difference in mindset between these two worlds is honestly striking. Western wellness, it's almost always about relentless optimization. It's constantly asking, what new supplement, what intense ice bath, what grueling habit should I add to my plate? Traditional Chinese medicine flips that script completely. It trades the shivering for a cozy cup of warm tea. It asks, what is my body trying to tell me right now, and what's blocking its natural healing process? It's not about forcing discipline at all, it's about listening. At the very center of this shift is the concept of qi, your body's fundamental energy system. When we're running on fumes, constantly stressed, or always cold, that qi gets blocked. And that blockage, that's exactly what manifests as chronic fatigue, sudden digestive issues, or that stubborn brain fog we all hate. So TCM is really about creating the right internal environment where your body's energy can flow and regulate itself naturally, without you having to fight it every step of the way. Part 3. The power of warmth. Okay, this might sound familiar to some of you. The creator ignored this specific piece of maternal wisdom for years. Going outside with damp, beachy waves and then wondering why she kept getting headaches. Well, modern physiology actually backs up this ancient Chinese mother's rule. Rapid heat loss from a wet head in cold conditions triggers an immediate stress response. That rapid cooling causes serious neck tension and headaches. Simply drying your hair is a very mother-approved act of nervous system protection. TCM actually identifies these specific areas as incredibly vulnerable to cold, which perfectly explains why your mom might have yelled at you for wearing crop tops in the winter. The neck is literally an entry point for cold. The belly button and lower abdomen house your digestive, reproductive, and kidney energy. And your feet? That's where several major meridians begin and end. Keeping these areas warm, maybe ditching the crop top and doing a cozy 15-minute warm foot soak with Epsom salts before bed, can dramatically improve your circulation, sleep, and overall energy. Now, this next habit is an absolute game changer. Drinking iced water or cold coffee on an empty stomach completely shocks your digestive system. Think of it like pouring ice water over a warm running car engine. Just a bad idea. Instead, swapping to warm water gently wakes up your gut, primes your digestion, and supports gut motility. In Chinese culture, people drink warm fluids even on scorching hot summer days because it works with your body's internal temperature rather than shocking it. Part 4. Intentional nourishment and digestion. Raw salads are always touted as the ultimate health food, right? But they are incredibly hard on a stressed gut. By switching to warm, cooked foods like soups, stews, and curries, you give your digestive system a massive break. Plus, TCM places a huge emphasis on mindful eating. By putting away your screens, actually looking at your food, and deliberately chewing thoroughly, your brain can properly signal your digestive system that it's time to absorb nutrients. That means saying goodbye to that uncomfortable post-meal bloat. And intentional hydration can also be tied directly to a woman's cycle. The creator actually rotates specific herbal teas and elixirs to support the 4 distinct phases of her menstrual cycle. For instance, she uses a flow blend packed with warming spices for cramp relief during her period and grounding herbs in her luteal phase when hormones are low. She even makes a hydrating snow fungus and pear dessert to combat winter dryness. It's all about giving your body exactly what it needs precisely when it needs it.
Part 5. Rethinking Rest and Movement.
So, sleep isn't just about quantity, it's all about timing. In TCM, the window between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. is absolutely vital. This is when your liver and gallbladder are most active. They're busy processing stress, regulating emotions, and facilitating cellular repair. Because of this, going to bed or at least getting horizontal and away from your screens between 10 and 11 p.m. is the absolute sweet spot for maintaining a functioning, regulated nervous system. High-performing women often fight their natural rhythms, but the luteal and menstrual phases of your cycle are known in TCM as yin time. During this window, your hormones drop to their lowest points, and your body is actively doing the hard work of shedding its lining. Slowing down, resting more, and easing up on obligations during these weeks isn't a weakness, guys. It's a biological necessity. Giving yourself permission to rest here is quite literally one of the most powerful things you can do for your long-term health.
Which brings up a vital need for balance and movement. Western fitness often pushes us toward daily, intense workouts, keeping us constantly running on stress hormones. And hey, while heavy lifting is fantastic for building strength, TCM teaches us that if we don't balance that intense, fiery yang energy with gentle yin movements like Pilates, walking, or Tai Chi, we're just constantly adding fuel to a nervous system fire that will eventually burn us out.
A beautifully simple Chinese cultural habit is Sanbu. This is the practice of taking a short, leisurely 5 to 10 minute walk, often with family or a partner, immediately after eating a meal. This small habit forces you away from your desk or the TV, connects you to nature, gently stimulates circulation, and drastically improves your body's ability to digest the food you just ate. It's so simple but so effective.
Part 6. Mind, Cycle, and Harmony.
In TCM, the mind and body are absolutely not separate. Emotional states are physical states. If you're harboring chronic worry, it impacts your spleen. Unprocessed grief directly affects your lungs. Prolonged stress depletes your kidneys. You simply cannot achieve true physical health if you don't carve out the time and space to process your emotions. For women, this final shift might be the most profound. In TCM, your menstrual cycle is a critical vital sign. Extreme pain, severe irregularity, or massive mood shifts aren't just inconveniences to medicate and push through. They are your body actively communicating that something is blocked or depleted. Learning to listen to and work with your cycle shifts your entire physical trajectory toward better health.
To wrap up this explainer, I want you to remember this. Health is a state of harmony. It is not a high score you achieve through punishment. You absolutely do not need to perfectly optimize all 12 of these habits tomorrow. But ask yourself, how much of your current wellness routine is actually just survival mode in disguise? Pick one small shift today, maybe drying your hair before bed or swapping your iced coffee for warm water, and finally let your body rest. Thanks for exploring this with me today.